Hi everyone. My name's Chris Quinlan. This is Melbourne Musos. And another tribute, the third one in a row. Rob Hurst, Sly Dunbar, and now one of Melbourne's finest, Graham Morgan, passed away last Sunday, 1st of February. So this show is dedicated to him, and also a dear friend of mine who was also a dear friend of Graham Morgan in Spike Quinlan, if you're there. I know you're doing it hard, mate, so I'm going to try and keep it up, but it's a heavy loss. I think I first saw Graham Morgan when I started drumming. When I started in the early 70s, he was around town. Most regular watchers of the show know that my teacher was Harold Ripper, and by all accounts, it was Graham Morgan that gave him the nickname Harold Speed Ripper and all that sort of stuff. And Harold used to just, just glow. Oh, Graham, all that stuff. And Graham Morgan was essentially, you couldn't not see him sometimes, in the sense that all the Tonight shows that he did, Don Lane was the one that stuck with me the most. I'd stay up and watch Don Lane just to listen to the drumming. And, even just the intro and then everything. And then reading Fly Shit at 50 yards, all this sort of business. And one of the things I wanted to do tonight was sort of talk about Graham Morgan as much as I can. I can't prefer. I met him briefly when I was filming Billy Cobham at Drum Tech all those years ago, and he came in, and you could tell the respect in the room. He walked in, suit, fine, dapper man, and everyone went, "Oh, Graham Morgan, Mr. Morgan, how are you?" That kind of thing. You could tell. He was the guy in the room next to Billy Cobham. Ooh, there you go. So what it is, it's going to be a jazzy show, of course. I can't turn Doris the drum kit left-handed. Graham Morgan was a left-hander. But he had some wonderful ideas that Spike gave me for my 60th birthday. Dear Spike, he said, "Here, I brought you a present." And what he did was give me a couple of pages that Graham Morgan wrote out for Spike. To Chris, hope you enjoy these from Graham Morgan. Spike, happy birthday, mate. There you go. And so that's what I mean. Let me talk about these pages a little bit. I've got here Jim Chapman exercises, this kind of thing, and he talks about, and he's written out ideas of moving around the drums in this page here. With this one here, he talks about a Buddy Rich phrase, and he talks about things that I've talked about in the past, like right, left, and right, left, as far as triplet rudiments. There's a Philly Joe Jones solo here, with paradiddles, all sorts of things all included. Let me take you through a couple of things, and then I'll talk about him a little bit more. One of the things, I don't want to spend the whole time just talking. I want to talk about what Graham Morgan was able to do, both as a performer, a player, a teacher, wonderful teacher, teacher a bit to the stars, even when dear Alan Brown has passed away, and he was one of the guys that gave me a little bit of a break early on, dear Alan. And Alan said, I've got to work on my hands, Chris. I've gone to Graham Morgan. That's what you do. There you go. So there it is. Now, one of the things, I'll just talk about it quickly. This page that Spike gave me is all about odds and even numbers and things, in the sense that when you're going down the kit, you've seen me do this before, but this is in honour of Graham Morgan actually writing it out. When you're going down the drums, and you want to keep going, you cycle it. The usual thing is you'll put in, then you'll be playing, right? Here we go. No worries. But if you want to cycle it, do another thing. What you could do, odd number of notes. 1, 2, 3, So you end up having one in the most basic of ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So, there you go. I've got another mate of mine who's had to take a little bit of time off, and I'm filling in for him in a couple of weeks. And a good mate, Murph, and so I'm filling in for him. And one of the songs in the second set that I have to cover is You're My Best Friend by Queen, and good old Roger Taylor does exactly that. The going up fill. Marcus, you know all about that. That kind of thing. And what that is what Graham has written out here, being able to sort of put in an odd number when you get down. So with big ass Doris here, you can go down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There you go. And it just depends, like, if we're doing, what are we going to do? Semiclavers? 1 Iana, 2 Iana, 3 Iana, 4 Iana, 1 Iana, 2 Iana, 3 Iana, 4 Iana, 1. And then you just add in the notes as you need to make it a good, even fill in, whatever it is. Some things, they do determine the time signature, you know, things like that. So if you're just going to do it as an exercise, you could do hippopotamus, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, turns around the lead hand, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Typical 5-piece kit. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hippopotamus, 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 hippopotamus. Gina Lola Brigida, Gina Lola Brigida, Gina Lola Brigida, Gina Lola Brigida. Couldn't get away without saying her name. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Say her name, 7 syllables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gina Lola Brigida, Gina Lola Brigida, Gina Lola Brigida, Gina Lola Brigida. There you go. There it is there, and it's all right here. Okay. This is a Jim Chapin exercise, Graham Morgan, 2015. He wrote it out for Spike, and Spike had to go to room 10. There you go. And this is essentially written just for a 4-piece drum kit. So what that is what have you got? Oh yeah. What have we got? Yeah. Or here. And what was that? Sorry, Graham. So watch what you got. There it is there. All right, I'm going to read about him a little bit now. Dear Graham Morgan, here we go. This is straight out of Wikipedia, so I'm keeping it straight. Now, what it is I'm doing this for television, but at least half the drummers in Melbourne will have their own experience, story, all the bandies back in the days of TV and everything like that, they'll all have stories. So I can only do him honour by playing it a little straight, but then think about how he's affected all of us here in Melbourne. All right, here we go. Graham Morgan, born Melbourne, 30th of April 1937, passed away 1st of February 2026, last Sunday night. Spike told me it was about 7 p.m, aroundabouts. Was an Australian drummer and teacher of drumming. He was educated at Melbourne Grammar School. In 1962, he travelled to Los Angeles to study under prominent drummers Joe Morello and Murray Spivak. Two great names there. There you go. I've got Joe Morello's book right there, and also buried in my other room somewhere is a Joe Morello book, but it's the pages of it that Harold gave me, and it was Joe Morello's way of playing odd times, which he was so famous for with Dave Brubeck. So it was like exercises all in 3/4 and 5/4, and I think there's 7/4 if I can find it. It's just lost in the bookcase. Anyway, I'll get it back. His work in television includes playing on the first ABC television broadcast in 1956, and over 20 years as staff drummer at GTV9, playing in bands on live shows such as The Don Lane Show. He also played for 10 years on programs on the 10 network, O10 network, if you remember that. Channel 10 used to be Channel O when I was a kid, including Young Talent Time and the Ernie Sigley Show. In addition to collaborations with artists such as Cleo Lane, John Dankworth, John Farnham, Kiri Tikanawa, Clark Terry, Carmen McRae, Freddie Hubbard, Nancy Wilson and the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra, he has performed with numerous informal ensembles and maintained a long career as a highly sought-after session drummer. He has been described as the most recorded drummer in Australia. Graham was playing well into his 80s with the jazz ensemble Bête Noire. He has taught hundreds of students of drumming at the Victorian College of the Arts and privately through Melbourne-based firm Drum Tech. His book, Analysis of Contemporary Drumming, A Modern Physical and Conceptual Approach, was published in 1999. There you go. That's Wikipedia. He's got his own little thing there, so there's all that. One of the other things on this page here to talk about, and Buddy Rich phrase, I'll talk about that, is, and it's a little bit of a repeat because I have done it before, but it's in honour of Graham. What you have is right, left, left. As a triplet. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Right, right, left. Now what this does is if you're playing right, left, left, there seems to be a natural accent on the main beat, in this case with your right hand. Right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left. Seems just natural. There it is there. Then if you go to right, right, left, it's on the offbeat, on the tar, if you will, or one and da. So when you're doing it in a Buddy Rich style on a snare drum, you might have this. That in itself, when you're doing that, is in your 40 pass rudiments known as a 6-stroke roll. It's 1 up, 1 E and up, 2 E and up, 3 E and up, 4 E and a 1, whatever it might be. But if you tripletize it, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, it ends up being that anyway, even if you're doing it rudimentally, you know, by the book, 1 E and a 2 E and a. It ends up that anyway. And then you move it around, you could do a calypso. 3-2 clave. Elvin Jones was one of the first drummers when I was getting right into it that I went, he's doing that rudiment Harold wrote out for me, that kind of thing. And you're playing, say, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. There's your right, left, left. There's your right, right, left. When was it? John Coltrane's Impressions, I think, somewhere there though. Something like that, in the style of. So when you're playing just something like that, in that style. It's right there. Right here on the second page of the beautiful present Spike's given me of Graham Morgan's playing. Play all exercises, buzzing all double notes. There you go. So what happens sometimes, that's what you can do. One of the things about a press roll, or buzzing, is that the way that you play it is dependent on the notes around it. So if you're playing more rudimentally, like 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, you keep it with the 1E and a 2E and all that. But if you're playing jazz, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. There you go. And that's this page here. Okay, there's that. And one of the other things is he's got that, play the doubles buzzed, all this biz. One of the other things that I used to really appreciate from Graham Morgan was his study of polyrhythms. And my ear turned every time well, not my ear, my page turned, and I read voraciously how he approached polyrhythmic playing, because he loved doing things like that. And one of the things, I'll take you through that. One of the things about polyrhythms is essentially there's two rhythms played against each other. And you're basically doing simple musical maths. And what goes on is that if you're going to play, say, let me see, if you're going to play, say, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3 here, it's a little thing. You can say it like this. Nice cup of tea, nice cup, oh, I've got to do it the other way. Nice cup of tea, nice cup of tea, nice cup of tea, nice. And what happens is when you just multiply the 2, you get 6, okay? And so what happens is it's, and that bit is the resolution point, you see. Now, when you start talking about things like that, this goes back to a little bit of Joe Morello that Graham Morgan studied with, in the sense that we know it best as the Vip stroke, you know, that vipping. There you go. I usually make a bit of a joke about it, but not today. So what happens is it's like that kind of thing there. Now what starts to happen now, you could forgive me for calling that thumb control, like a variation of finger control there, but it's a resolution. Rough, but there it is. That's 3 against 2. I've done that plenty of times. Some of the other things are, you know, you can get into different things like 4 against 3 and things like that. So you might have, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So see the big fat piggy, see the big fat piggy, see the big fat piggy. Remember that one? I've done a few episodes on that. I've even had the piggy behind me on the blue screen there. And that's another one as well. Some of the other things that start to happen is when you actually start talking about the resolution points. That's a 5. But I've done it. I've got the sticking that I always used to use for any of the Frank Zappa business because it was just part of his language. I always tell the tale about the old Zappa instrumental back in the 90s when we used to do all the Zappa stuff for 6 years. Is the first 10 songs were murder to do them. But the second 10 songs, oh, he's doing that 5 again. Oh, he's doing the 7 again. And then by the third 10, you just got to know it. And next thing you know, oh, there it is. Now, if you're in a Van Halen tribute band and you're the guitarist, it's incredible work to pull it off, number one. And number two is, he's doing that little lick. Oh, there's that one. And any tribute musician will tell you, oh, there's that fill again. Or there's that guitar lick again. Oh, they're in E again. You know, that kind of thing. It's just the style. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that's what makes them wonderful. So when you've got, say, 5, so right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, build it up. So I could do, let me see. I could do left, right, right, left, right, right. So it's a triplet. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 with the foot. This is the bottom thing, really. Left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right. That's the real. There, but I've got that. Get it? There it is there. That's a little bit of the polyrhythmic side of some of the things that I know that Graham Morgan would talk about quite a bit. He loved his polyrhythms, and there's all that. So what I've got here is a little bit of a treatise on a great drummer, a wonderful drummer, very local. It was bad enough with Rob Hurst. I was a mess. And then we had Sly Dunbar, king of reggae, and now it's a lot closer to home. And not that Rob Hurst wasn't, but Graham Morgan was just part of our town as far as music. And there's Spike's pages, all handwritten, wonderful, just handwritten, just sat there, bang. I'll be back in a minute, son. The old Spirax, I remember Harold going off. Who remembers Melbourne Music Centre, 3rd floor of Sutton's in Elizabeth Street, across the road from Brash's. Whoa! And, you just play your paradiddle, son, I'll be back in a minute. And he'd go off to the kitchenette, up the back. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, but he'd come back and have a whole page of the 3 paradiddles and inversions. Harold, Speed, Ripper. Thank you, Graham. That's his, I think it was Graham, as I said, Graham gave him the nickname. Oh, the Speed. Oh, the shenanigans. Oh, dear. Okay. And just to start to finish off, let me give you something that he used to do all the time on the Don Lane show. All the time. It was a brand new lick and everyone was going, whoa, have you heard that Steve Gadd lick on that Chick Corea album? And what it is you could play a 16th note rock beat, then split it. So there's that. You now go here, you leave the left hand on the hi-hat. I'll do it slowly. Put the accents in, and it's like you've got a double ride, you know that. And if you pump it just a little, I got that from Graham Morgan and Steve Gadd. That came in very handy when the old band was doing a Frank Zappa instrumental called "We Are Not Alone" off of the Man from Utopia album. Right. There it is there. Right. Okay. I'll close it off. This show is dedicated to Graham Morgan. I'd like to dedicate it to Spike Quinlan, good mutual friend, and everybody else in Melbourne who is... we've had a bit of a rough month, we Australian drummers, and so this one is dedicated to Graham Morgan and everybody who came up in those glorious times of the 50s and 60s. My teacher, Harold Ripper, mates with Graham Morgan. Speed Ripper. That's a bit of a laugh. That's funny. Yeah. Speed. Everything's about speed control. You know, how fast can you go? All that. Everybody, Alan Brown, all these wonderful musos, Melbourne, I named the show, Melbourne Musos, all these people that have influenced us all so much. There's a lot of people hurting out there just at the minute because of that. And there you go. So I'd like to dedicate it not just to Graham Morgan, but to all his friends, all his colleagues. You couldn't play around town, especially in kind of a jazz contest or anything, without just knowing his name. You couldn't turn on the TV if you're doing Channel 9 without hearing him play. He was one of the most heard drummers around. And there's this show dedicated to him. So, my name's Chris Quinlan. And this show is dedicated to Graham Morgan and his friends. Thank you.